Hi guys, this is Android Nub, and these are the best games of the week. First up we have Shadow Blade, published by Crescent Games. This is a really cool side-scrolling action game where you play some kind of ninja and you go through many stages, and the goal of each stage is to collect all this stuff and go to the exit. Controls are really simple, an arrow to move left and right, and you can jump and attack. There's some cool ways of killing the enemies, like stabbing them from behind, stabbing them from above, and just running them over. There's some puzzles to go through with some cool jumping. Unfortunately, only the first 7 levels are free. If you like it, probably should buy it, it's a pretty cool game. Next up we have Swordigo, published by Touch Foo. This is a cool side-scrolling RPG with a story. It's actually a really good game. The graphics don't look that good, but it's really not too bad. The controls are really smooth and there's a lot of maps to go through. The combat's action-oriented. You can fight monsters, level up, increase your stats. There's a story to advance and interesting quests to get. Overall, it's a really fun game and I don't think there's any in-app purchases. Next up is School of Dragons, published by Knowledge Adventure. This is kind of like an MMORPG based on the movie How to Train a Dragon. You can see other players in this game and you can own your very own dragon. So there's a world to run around and get quests. A lot of them involve some instance minigames, such as flying on a dragon, which is pretty cool. And there's some other minigames. The game has a good amount of content. I have to warn you, this game does have frame rate problems and a lot of really long loading screens that gets really annoying. Next up is Epic Empire, a hero's quest, published by Pocket Gems. Here's an interesting RPG that also has a story. You play a guy that's on his quest to find the Bandit King. This game is a mix of city building and RPG, which is pretty cool. So you do own a city and you can build different structures and buildings on it. And to expand your city, you gotta explore the nearby area, which involves fighting bandits and other enemies. Combat's very simple, you just tap enemies to attack them, so you just keep tapping the enemies and your character keeps attacking. The biggest con is that this game uses energy, and when you run out of energy, you have to wait a long time for it to refill. Next up we have the Tribez and Castlez, published by GIGL. This is probably one of the better city building games on Android. They do build a city, and you have a large variety of different buildings and stuff to build. You can control your workers by telling them what to do. You can cut down trees and farm, and there's lots of quests that guide you and tell you what to do. There's some occasional cutscenes and people coming to your village and doing stuff. Graphics are good, and it is a pretty good city building game. Next up we have Divine Girls, published by Come To Us. This game is almost exactly the same as Tales of Valhalla from my last video, except this game has a more of an anime girl theme, so you collect cards and go through many stages, and your cards automatically attack each other, although you can kind of rearrange them before each wave of enemies. There's some nice effects, and the artwork is quite interesting. The game kind of has a story, kind of have this lowly angel that talks to you about stuff, and there's occasionally some interesting dialogue. Simple but addicting game. Next up we have Wizcraft, published by Come To Us. This is a mix of city building, RPG, and card game. So they do have a city to build, where there's quite a bit of stuff to build, and there's quests that guide you on what to do. There are story missions, and the combat is automated and card based, so it's kind of like Divine Girls, but it's horizontal instead of vertical. You can collect cards and upgrade them, and you also recruit cards from the barracks like a city building game. It's kind of interesting, you might want to check it out. Next up we have Lego Hero Factory Invasion. This is an action-paced Lego game where you can play as these robots and your goal is to kill these enemies. You can move left and right, jump and shoot. There's a lot of different kinds of robots to play as, and there's these boss battles. This game has really nice cinematic cutscenes, which there are quite a lot of. The game is not too bad, worth checking out. Next up we have Wimp Ultimate, published by FlexileStudio. This is a side-scrolling puzzle game where you play some sort of glue thing, and you go around collecting toilet paper and underwear. There's a lot of levels to go through. You can move and jump around, and even stick to things. There's a lot of puzzles like switches and moving boxes. It's an interesting casual puzzle game. Last up we have Kings and Cannon, published by Xerces Technologies. This is a physics-based casual game, kinda like Angry Birds. The goal is to knock down all these enemies which look like squares. So you aim where to shoot and you shoot these balls. Pretty straightforward, although the game does get really difficult after a while. Anyway, that's all for this week. Make sure you guys subscribe for more videos, and thanks for watching.